today's lesson, we're going to put everything together from this week. So integers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, maybe some exponents, and BEDMAS. So order of operations is important, but we might come across positives and negatives at the same time. So quick reminders of some things. Let's do some adding, subtracting from yesterday. Okay. One of our big rules yesterday was we want to clean up signs if we have to. That is, if we have two signs side by side. If you look at the first one, we don't really have that situation. They're separated. The negative's in front of the 8, the positive's in front of the 4, but we have two different integers, a negative and a positive. I said yesterday the easiest way of doing this is figuring out how different they are. 8 and 4 are 4 digits apart, and the 8's bigger, so we have a negative. The second one does need to be cleaned up. Look, we got plus minus. We don't like 7 plus minus 3. It makes no sense. So examine our signs. They're different. Put a minus sign in there. And this is just 7 minus 3, or 4. The last one here, again, we have to clean it up. I got 21 minus minus 8. We don't like that. 2 of the same sign always results in a positive. And 21 and 8 makes 29. If you have more than just two integers, again, clean it up, first of all, always, 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 and then work left to right, or, if you want to, because it's adding and subtracting, you can collect the types of like terms. So put all the negatives together and all the positives together, and then figure it out at the end. For instance, -7 plus -5 plus 1. First thing I want to do, clean it up. So -7 plus minus, don't like that, put into a minus sign, and positive 1. Okay. Here, I've got negatives, and only negatives. They can go together. They make a bigger negative number, -12. Okay. The last step of this one, -12 and a positive 1, well, those are different kinds of things. They're different by 11 digits, and the negative sign is important because the 12 is bigger. In that case, all the negatives were together and all the positives were together. But if we look at E, they're not. So maybe, and you're allowed to do this, it makes more sense to change the order. Okay? Adding and subtracting, you can move things around as long as you keep the sign the way it is. So I put all the negatives together because I like to be able to collect things that are the same. A 9, a 6, and a 12 are all negative. They can all go together. 9 and 6 and 12 makes 27. And since they're all negatives, it's a -27. How far apart are 27 and 5? They're 22 digits apart, and the negative's the bigger thing. This is how we can collect negatives and positives. Take a look at F. F is messy. Ooh, I got a plus minus in there. I see two signs beside each other. I'm going to fix that right off the bat. Oh, I don't like the order of this. I'm going to put the negatives with the negatives. Then I can actually collect them. -5 and -6 makes -11. -11 plus 7 is -4. And the idea of collecting things. Now, if you don't like that, you can work just left to right if you want to. You can say to yourself, well, -5 plus 7, I want to do that first. That's +2 minus 6. 2 minus 6, oh, that's -4. That's the same answer, right? I'm not really picky which way you do it. I'm just trying to show you two different ways. Left to right, or collecting ones that are the same. Let's go G here. I like the -11, I like the 8, but I don't like minus minus. Two of the same, make it a positive. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of things. I'm going to put the things together that I can collect. So I got all the negatives together, I got all the positives together. -11 and -17 makes -28. 8 and 13 and 9, that makes 30. Okay, those are different. A negative and a positive by 2, and 30 is bigger than 28, so it's got to be a +2. And try the last two yourselves. See if you get the right answer. I got -4 plus minus. Oh, it's going to be a negative. Minus minus, it's got to be a positive. And 11. Ooh, they're all in the right order. Perfect. So I got -9 and +19. And those are different by 10, and 19 is bigger, so it's a positive. And the last one, no signs to worry about here. I got no double signs. We got -2 and -6. Oh, there's a -4 in there. I missed it. Put that in there. -4, -6, and +3 and +5. I'm going to collect my things here. I got 12 negatives and 8 positives, which are 4 digits apart. The 12 is bigger, so it must be a negative. Again, if you want to work in order, put these together first. -2 plus 3 makes 1. The rest would stay the same. 1 minus 4 would be -3. The rest would stay the same. -3 plus 5 would be 2. The rest would be the same. And 2 minus 6 makes -4. It works exactly the same way, and if you want to do it left to right, totally fine with that. That's great. But if you like collecting things, makes it a little bit easier, try that too. Okay, let's move it up. Word problems. I'm going to come across the word problem here. See what you can do with this one. The temperature in Dawson City on Sunday was -4. On Monday, the temperature rose 7 degrees. On Tuesday, it dropped 12 degrees. Wednesday was 3 degrees warmer. And on Thursday, the prediction was a weekly high, 5 degrees warmer than any other day. If the temperature cooled off 9 degrees on Friday, what was the temperature that day? Oh, there's a lot going on in this question. I think to help me, I'm going to write down some words. Here, Sunday, what do we know? I know it's -4. On Monday, what do I know? It rose 7. Well, that's a way of saying an operation. If something rises, it goes up. That means we've got to add 7. -4 plus 7 makes 3. On Tuesday, it dropped. That's another mathematical word. If something drops, that means it's going downwards by 12. 3 minus 12, those are different. It's -9. Wednesday, it's warmer by 3. Well, warmer is not really a mathematical word, but it gives us a direction to go. Right? In temperature, you go warmer, it goes up. -9 plus 3, that's -6. And on Thursday, it was 5 degrees warmer than any other day. So here's a tricky one. I don't add 5 to Wednesday. It's 5 degrees warmer than any other day. What's the warmest day we've come across so far? I think Monday was the warmest day. So I have to go 5 degrees warmer than that one. I have to add 5. That gives me 8. If the temperature cooled off 9 degrees on Friday, what was the temperature that day? Well, cooled off means it's going down, and we're going down. Oh, we're going down 9, sorry, not 1. And 8 minus 9 is -1. Okay, so Friday, it's a word problem. Friday had a temperature of -1 degrees Celsius. Okay. So we're doing integers here, so we're trying to get that idea across by using words this time, ups and downs, adding and subtracting, by talking about temperature. All right, let's put it all together now. Order of operations. So BEDMAS still exists. We said it exists the other day. Order does matter. We went through this question actually as a reminder. Okay. We got to start with brackets if there's something to do inside them. There would be in this case, right? 3 times 2. When we do it, we do that one thing inside the brackets, we got 6. Everything else should stay the same. The next thing we should do is exponents. Again, we have those. We got 5 squared right here. 5 times 5 makes 25. And everything else should stay the same. And get rid of the bracket because there's nothing happening inside it anymore. It's just the number 6. Division multiplication comes next, but we talked about whichever comes first from left to right. That's our big idea here. Okay, so in here, I look at the end, I see some multiplying. 25 stays the same, 6 stays the same, minus stays the same, and 2 times 4 makes 8. And then last but not least, adding, subtracting, left to right. And in this case, that's what we've been doing all day today with integers. 25 plus 6 That's 31, and 31 minus 8 makes 23. Now, as I said, if you want to move things around when you get to the adding and subtracting, it doesn't actually make a difference as long as you keep your sign. Maybe it makes it easier to collect the things that are the same. In this case, they kind of already were, right? There's my positives, and there's my negatives. So I didn't really have to worry about collecting anything. We're going to try a couple. 27 minus 18 divided by 6. Well, BEDMAS, brackets, no. Exponents, no. Division, yes. 18 divided by 6 makes 3. Notice I put the minus sign in right off the bat because I wasn't worried about that at this point. I was worried about the dividing part. 27 minus 3 is 24. We'll try the next one. Brackets, no. Exponents, no. Division, multiplication, yes. I see both. We have to work on them from left to right. So 36 stays the same. Minus stays the same. 18 divided by 2 makes 9. Everything else stays the same. Right, next. I still got multiplication, so I gotta do that next. 36 stays the same, minus stays the same. 9 times 3 makes 27. Now I've got my adding, subtracting. If you want to do this from left to right, you can, or collect things together, then do it. This one's not too bad to do from left to right. 36 minus 27 is 9. 9 plus 8 makes 17. Okay, so far no integers to worry about. Everything's been just adding, subtracting, but ends up in positives. Here's where the integers come in. Okay, BEDMAS, brackets. I see brackets, but is there something happening inside them? No, there's just a number. We said before, it's okay to have numbers inside brackets. It shows us that we are actually multiplying. So in this case, I don't have any brackets, exponents, or division. I just have multiplying. So let's multiply some stuff together. Negative 5 times negative 3 times 2. I can multiply it all together like we did the other day. 2 negatives make a positive. So I end up with a positive. 5 times 3 makes 15 times 2. I get 30. And you can do this all at one time if you want to. 5 times 3 times 2 is 30. And if you count your negatives, there's an even number of them, 2. So you know your answer is positive. Okay, we also said the other day when we're multiplying, we can do it more than once in the same question if they're separated. In this case, they are. So in the other part, I've got negative 4 times negative 5. 2 negatives make a positive, and 4 times 5 is 20. Adding 30 and 20 makes 50. Okay, let's try and use that idea in the next one. Okay, I'll scan this thing. I see brackets, but there's only one number inside them, so not really brackets. There's no exponents. There's no division. There is multiplication right here, and again right here. That's what the brackets are showing us. So the 3 is okay. Nothing's happening with it. Negative 4 times positive 5, those are different signs, so it makes a negative 20. Negative 8 times negative 3, those are the same signs, so a positive 24. Okay, got rid of my brackets and my multiplying. Now it's adding, subtracting. So you can work left to right if you want to, or maybe I'm going to put the positives together, the 3 and the 24, and the negatives together. Maybe that makes it easier for you. 3 and 24 makes 27. 20 and 9 makes 29, and they're all negatives. So 27 minus 29 is negative 2. The difference between them. I'm going to try a couple more. See what you can do with these two. I think those are the last two. Yep. Okay. BEDMAS. B-E-D-M-A-S. Brackets. No. Exponents. Yes. 6 squared. 6 times 6 makes 36. Everything else stays the same. Division. No. Multiplication. Yes. All right, there's my multiplying. 36 times 10 is 360. And I can add those together. And this time, I had no integers to worry about. It was all positives. Okay, last one. Brackets. Ooh, I see 2 sets of brackets. We talked about this the other day. When we have brackets inside brackets, we start on the inside ones. So the 4 on the outside can't be touched until the end. Inside the brackets, what do I have to do first inside? Well, inside, I start all over again. B for brackets, E for exponents. Oh, there's definitely an exponent there. 5 squared makes 25. All right, we got to keep going on that round bracket inside. What is 32 minus 25? That's 7. Okay, I'm not going to put brackets around it here anymore because I don't really need them. Okay, the brackets are gone once I've done that math. So I got the minus 8. Okay, inside the square bracket, what do we get? 7 minus 8 makes negative 1. Notice I've gone from square brackets to round brackets. It doesn't make a difference. They're just brackets. There's kinds of brackets. I started with square ones in the question to point out that there was different ones. Okay, last thing. What does brackets mean? Well, if there's only one number inside, it means they're multiplying. What's 4 times negative 1? The signs are different, so it's a negative. 4 times 1 makes 4. Okay, there's some practice with BEDMAS and integers to do on the website there, of course. Give them a try. Those are the kinds of questions we're going to look at today. Just number things. Maybe an occasional word problem, but just number things otherwise.